Water change time. I know some people don't like it, some people don't like to do water changes because it's the maintenance on fish tanks. It doesn't matter if it's fresh water or salt water. A lot of people don't like maintenance at all, but let me tell you, especially, both sides of the story, freshwater and saltwater, to have success, I believe in water changes. And with me having a reef tank, if I slack on my water changes, I'm starting to get buildup of algae. I got detritus on the sand bed and just stuff that you normally want to get out of your system. You need to export that because you have the skimmer that's doing great, but I like manually removing stuff. Like even if you got algae in the rocks, manually get that out, remove it with water changes and remove by hand. I really try not to slack up on my water changes, because if I do, I'm gonna have trouble keeping this tank in the perfect condition where it's at right now. So as you can see, I'm siphoning the sand bed out, getting some of the buildup of detritus out of the sand bed. So yeah. So after I clean out the sand, it usually gets messy, and so what I do, I have this stick to reach way down to the bottom of my tank, and my tank is real deep, so this stick helps me with straightening out the sand bed to where it's supposed to be, so it can make it neat and clean. And also I have to straighten out the corals that's on the sand bed also. After I finish straightening out the sand bed, when I'm doing in this video, I have a little algae build up on my rocks. So what I'm doing is manually removing the algae, just picking off the rocks and manually removing it. This is the best thing you can do, so to get algae out of your system is to manually remove it. Now with doing water changes, I always clean out my equipment, so that can be the wave makers. What I do, I have coralline buildup. I soak that in distilled white vinegar and let the coralline algae decay, so it bring a nice appearance, like brand new look in the reef tank. And I clean out my protein skimmer. Any equipment, I try to do my best to clean out. So you want these equipments to last you long time in this hobby. So after I finish cleaning everything in my reef tank, I fill my reef tank back up with Fritz salt water. Make sure I mix it up in the bucket at least a day, so the salt dissolves pretty good. So, and then I just add it to the tank, and so this is what my reef tank looks like after a water change. So I try to clean out as much as I can, just to have that motivation. You gotta have that motivation if you want to keep a clean tank. So I do water changes. I just love it. The corals respond great, and I'm just sticking with the water changes.